Welcome to La Fuerza de Nuyo-Mujeres, Women in the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. This conversation is part of the Dodge Poetry year-round programming in collaboration with New Jersey Performing Arts Center and funded by Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation. My name is Caridad de la Luz, and I'm the current executive director of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and I am here with Lois Griffith, surviving founder of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe.
I was thinking about that word. The older I get, the more problems I have with language. Founder is such a hard word. I was thinking initiator, one of the initiators, And then we were talking over here about preposition. Nuyo-Mujeres de o Nuyo-Mujeres en o Nuyo-Mujeres a. So we have at, in, on.
Con.
I have problems with prepositions in every language.
Yes.
But I think of the cafe, it was the bright idea of Miguel Agarin, the initiator.
Yes.
And an initiator with his chums, Miguel Pinheiro and Lucky Cienfuegos, came together in his apartment and said, this is too much. I can't have all these people here. So when the space across the street from where he was living on East 6th Street at the time came available, he said, let me rent it. $125 a month.
Wow.
I mean, in today's, back in those days on the Lower East Side, you could get an apartment for what? $50, $100 was a lot.
1973.
Yes.
In the Lower East Side.
In the Lower East Side,
Yeah. So
But
founder, initiator,
visionary, scholar. Because remember, he was a scholar of Shakespeare. That was his guy. He taught.
But you were there.
I was
You
there.
were his right hand in all of it, were you not?
We think about today as jobs, but it was more organic. I was an artist out of art school, trying to visual artist first. And then hearing so many words, I came to write. Not that I didn't keep journal before, but
Yes.
Today we think, oh, that's your job. No, that's your job.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that.
There's a lot of titles. People are very invested in titles.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
That's
What
true,
does
but
that
then,
mean?
I don't know.
What does
I
that
don't know
mean? So,
why.
when we're going to talk about the women because they were kind of
Right. And means
in the background.
pushed to this,
At
but
the
still
side.
working, doing the work, right? But not really given
A title?
Right.
For the longest time, here I was doing work.
Yes.
With no title.
Right. How long did it take for someone to say you're a founder?
Oh, wow. Pretty recent. Maybe when I say recent, we're looking over 50 years. Past 10, maybe. But when we got the new building on East 3rd Street in 1980, then we decided, well, you know what? Let's get some cards. So what do you put on the card? Name of organization, person's name, and a title. So really not till you get a calling card. And even then, because now I would be a producer.
Was that what was on your card?
No.
No. Interesting.
I don't think was
there
anything.
Was a title there
I don't think there was a title. Just my name and number to call, and people would
Yes.
call me 24/7, on
Yeah.
the phone. Can I come? Can I be? The whole purpose behind the initiator's vision was to have a stage, especially where people of color could come and present, where audiences would also be part of the experience, so that you can't really be a performer without a talk back,
Mm.
a receiver, and they talk back too. So
Right.
that was the whole vision from the beginning. And then there was the book at the corner of the bar where you have something to say, you come in, put your name down, we give you 5 minutes. So that's
Right.
how that was.
And to this day, it's basically
And
that's the formula. But
but the sidewalk to the stage, that was always like a mantra for us. From the sidewalk to the stage. So we are accessible, not like these other places where we couldn't go back in 73. And now I think, oh, wow, that's so long ago. And yet it's not. When I see things, the repetition, the repeat, the reprise of attitudes and conventions happening again to keep out, to keep back like that. We were talking.
Well, I did want to take us back to the space.
Mm-hmm.
You decide you're going to open that space on 6th Street. The first thing that Miguel did was have his mother
Yes.
go into the space and tell me about that.
Doña Maria Socorro Algarin.
Yes.
She was a formidable woman. I said, Spirit, let me not say anything untoward. Because everybody got their size,
Sure.
She said, we have to have limpieza here. And
limpieza means cleansing in Spanish. So Miguel Algarin's mother says we have to have a cleansing in here. She goes into that space, which is now like a Cummings bar, Alan Cumming. It's now a queer bar.
The
On 6th Street.
actor.
Yeah, so it's his
okay,
bar, and
okay.
that space still lives and
I
exists.
hope he keeps it clean.
It did look lovely. Everything I have gone back.
Clean.
Oh, that kind of cleansing, I don't know if that's happening
But that's
there.
part of limpieza too.
Yes.
When you think
It's not just one limpieza. Cleansing is.
it's when you say that word, it has meaning for spirit.
That's right.
And also for physical.
Correct.
So you have ears have to be clean. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. We cleanse all.
Yes.
So we had drummers, of course, and chanting, of course, and agua florida, all over, of course.
Yes.
And then we have our words. We give our words to spirit. So we were talking that it all begins with spirit.
Yes.
This is what guides us. It's not like, I think I will have an arts institution across the street from where I live. No, it's not like that. It's, spirit opens this. Well, let's see where we go with this. It's like that.
Alignment.
Yes.
Of sorts. And the alignment that I was asking about was like the timing of why it opened on Halloween. And you just said,
that's
because it just aligned that way.
It happened. That's a good idea. Halloween next week? Oh, okay. Yeah, we do that.
We'll open the doors.
We'll open the doors
on Halloween. And so
but
it
isn't
was.
that ironic that it's the Day of the Dead?
Yes.
So all the forces come down and begin to disperse out and say, this is the place, come here. This is a place where you can come. If you understand, you come here.
Yes.
And that's how it was.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about spirit. We used to have a radio show on WLIB. And when we first had it, would you believe we would go from like maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning with the radio show? We had all that time to film. Can you imagine? It's
You're
like
breaking night. You're like, seeing
all
the
those
sun come up.
hours of talent, you got to fill it up.
Yeah.
And I remember when Miguel said finally, okay, so the next one you're going to do it. You're going to host it. And I said, oh, Lord, help me, please.
For 6
For
hours.
6 hours. So who am I going to get? Who am I going to drag off the street and come in here? And I said, no, be calm. I'm going to go with the spirit. And there was a musician at the time who this man, he had come from Montreal to New York at the time, and he was new in the New York scene. Brilliant, brilliant. Robert Aaron. I said, I don't know how to, not everybody had a phone back then either, you know? It wasn't like, and people didn't exactly sit home waiting for a phone to ring. So I said, I'm going to put it out for him to come. If Robert can come with some of his guys, I'm going to put it, because I didn't see him right before. And do you know he walked in the door? I said, Spirit, send
Yes.
him. And he walked, because it was that kind of a place at first. With technology and all this and the other toys we have to play.
Yeah.
I said, I just put it in the hands of Spirit to send Robert in here and help me with this 6 hours. And it happened. And then some other poets came.
Any women come through at that time?
That's a whole big part of our discussion we have to address, the woman part. And we were talking before about women as leaders, women as innovators. You don't have to have a title to be a leader, innovator. You have to have it here. You have to have it here.
Yes.
To draw the powers to you to make you rise to something more than you are. This is how I feel. This is my experience.
Yeah.
There was Sandy. She was my buddy.
Sandra Maria Esteves.
Sandra Maria Esteves.
Yes.
She would come around when she could because she had kids already. And when she came, it was so novel having a woman, particularly a Latina, who could get up and deliver. There weren't a whole lot back then in the Caribbean period. Now as I look back and try to, because you can really only make history from memory. I remember. Look back at some of the women in the Caribbean. We strained the brain to think, who in what language? I think of Suzanne Césaire in Martinique. I think maybe Lorna Sylvia Winter. Sylvia left Jamaica to England. Okay. Maybe too, in order to get a perspective on performance, words, art that you make, you have to do memory. It's hard to do, and you know this now because you're in the thick of it, to be both recorder and scribe and administrator and artist at one and the same time is a very difficult thing. You, from your experience as performer on stage, the minute you let go of I am in this moment to think of, well, you lose it,
You lose it. Yes.
right?
Yes, it's true.
So you have to kind of, I am at the age now where I can remember and make sense. And making sense is being able to tell a story about it so people can understand
Yes.
what happened.
Yes.
So women, I wasn't even thinking, and I told you, coming over here, I got a problem with the word feminism. Why? Because here again, it's a label. When a woman sees something needs to be done, does she think and sees also that for the most part it's been men who have done that thing? But she sees perhaps what others around her, who may be all men, don't see, and say, I, this needs to be done. This bigger than us. We got to step up and do this.
Yeah.
So it's not like, is this the feminist expression of my ambition? It's not like that.
Right.
You
Well, I
see,
don't know that women made of feminism. I think it's a reaction to women stepping forward. And it's like, oh, that must look at this. This is feminism. And we're as women just natural leaders. We see, we see what needs to be done, and they may not see it, and so it's gathering that momentum and making people see, okay, um, let's organize this, let's strategize,
and see how we can make this happen.
see how can we make this happen. And then, because it's a woman doing it, oh, that's feminism.
Right. And if she is not, if she has a broad tongue and outspoken, she's a bitch.
And if she's cleansing and doing limpieza, she's a witch. Well, yeah, I think about, because Halloween is a big date for me. My parents got married on Halloween. And so that, learning that the Nuyorican opened its doors in the New Year, on Halloween, like all of that, and then being La Bruja, and just
Why
the
did
way.
you embrace that name? I've always been curious.
Well, quite a few reasons.
Or somebody put it on you.
Oh, no,
You embraced it.
called myself La Bruja. I mean, I felt like my mother was a vampire, my father was a werewolf, and so I came out a witch. But they got married on Halloween. We were baptized Catholic, but we also, we were espiritistas. We worked with spirit. We did cleansings. I am born of this. And because you couldn't really say espiritismo, like we couldn't say that. Like automatically people thought santeria. It wasn't exactly santeria. It's espiritismo. So because I didn't have the word for that, I know that I'm working with spirit. So La Bruja. And because the power of with words, you create spells. We're spelling, all of those things. It just all made sense. And because I knew that I wasn't the type of woman that was going to fit into a man's box, I knew that women like me are called witches anyway. And there were many women that came before me that did the work, didn't, but weren't acknowledged for their power. It was like in remembrance of them. It's for many reasons, on top of the fact that I had many paranormal experiences. So, yeah, La Bruja for that and more.
To that point, I would never come out and say, yes, I'm the Obia woman's daughter. Because the connotation of those words in English is so powerful. Bruja, brujo, brujeria is, you want to, okay, I know what you're talking now.
And some people are scared, and that's okay. Like I also, because I know what my intentions are, I am also caridad de la luz, which is of the light. And my intentions is to work with light. But if people are afraid, then let them be afraid. Let them see what kind of bruja I am. And my work will determine the kind of bruja I am. And also the way that people treat me determines what kind of bruja I am. Because if I have to be scary, then I can be.
You pulled that out of me?
Yes.
You asked for it?
Yes. And I think women inherently have that power, you know, and it's been diluted and been villainized, and it's been changed to make us feel that it's really the man's power that we have to follow. And I think that a lot of women that have come through the Nuyorican Poets Cafe
Have that power.
have the power. And we are here to speak their names because I know we've talked
We-
about a long list of women.
Long.
Long.
And to that point, too, what I'm doing now, archive work,
Yes.
and thinking, too, about knowledges and how here we can talk about, you know, scholars. I've been kind of attached myself to CUNY grads and that whole scholarly phrase of consciousness.
Yes.
Where I want to see our work studied.
An
as
academic
part,
knowing,
yes,
right?
as part of what people want to talk about the arts in America in the latter part of the 20th century.
Right.
Yes, we have contributed to that influence. And no mistake about that. And I'll show you. That's how I got into Schomburg and the project I'm writing now.
Yes.
But to that thing about knowledges, how we as women of color navigate our actions in different knowledges. For want of a better word, I use knowledges in order to communicate with the scholar and the academician of the global north. But among ourselves, like we talk in limpieza and obvia and espiritismo,
Right.
we know what that is.
But they don't speak that language. So
there you go.
Right. So it has to be translated in that language for the academic world to consume, respect, acknowledge, understand. Yeah. And that it lives on.
And
Because
it's
how
very
quickly
much
can it be
present.
Present.
You know, it never went away.
Right.
So I think perhaps technologies have a lot inserted themselves into our understanding, which is a whole other knowledge, you know, and discovering now with people I'm working with at the grad center, there's you can get a PhD as a digital in the digital humanities, you know, a child who was of the phone and the internet and all of that has risen and has to begin to pull that power from you and from me into the language there too for understanding. Now, why is it, this is where I was struggling writing last night. There's a kind of default when you say, I learned that word from computer, when you say, when you choose your printer and it says default, oh, that's the one that comes up right away. Why do we have this default knowledge to assume, why can't I say, yeah, you know, my great-grandmother was an Obia woman. My mother took it from her because that's who raised her. And everybody knows what it means. Do I need to explain to you so you can understand that in terms of Western, Northern, global structures, an abandoned child raised by grandmother. You understand? that's the default we go to, rather than to say
This is a matriarchal
it's a matriarchal thing here now.
culture.
Yes.
Yes. And, living in a patriarchy now, that has also, it's been stripped from the woman. And um, when I was cleaning out the building,
How many times?
it was in phases. But when I was initially going through those 3 floors of a 50-year hoard, really, in that building, your writing was there. Carmen Pietri's writing was there. I found the logs and the detailed work, and those were the 2 writings, the different script,
They
and
don't do
handwriting.
cursive anymore. They won't be able to read it.
But I knew that your hands were in all of that, and Carmen's hands.
Yes.
Talk. Was Carmen Pietri
was the youngest of the Pietri children.
Pedro Pietri's sister, founder
sister.
and poet. And was she the first woman executive director?
No, she came after Sandra Garcia Betancourt.
So Sandra Garcia Betancourt was the first executive director, first woman executive director?
When you say it like that, I'm thinking, oh yeah, she was. But at the time,
no,
we
wasn't given
thought-
that title.
No, it wasn't. We need somebody. Miguel and I sit and think, who would have the skills? And let's talk to Sandra. She's been a lot in administrative art circles. Let's talk. That's how it was. It wasn't, oh, we're going to make history now. No.
Right. I have the power.
No.
Titles are so much about that. It's so true. So Sandra.
But when you think about it, you were saying a minute ago about words. You have to speak the word. And when you speak the word, it can invent and it can imprison too, because it can limit you to the space of its meaning. So you got to be careful of the word. So we never thought Sandra the first woman executive. Sandra's going to be the executive director now. So that means she got space to do. And she did. And then when she left of her own accord now, who can we get? Who can we get? And Carmen had just finished law school. And we, a blessing!
I didn't know she went to law school.
Carmen was a lawyer.
I didn't know that.
She used to practice in the Bronx in a storefront and help people like that. So we said, let's talk to Pedro first. And he said, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. So, yeah, we asked Carmen. She said, oh, okay.
Wow. And then came in.
And it was she who, because we had space, but not, let's dedicate this to office now because we got to do a lot of administrative stuff. She said, this basement, we got to fix it up. Got the grant, got it cleaned up, got it leaky, and because that part of town is really landfill. Secure. She did that.
Wow.
She made the administrative
space for that work to be done.
Yes.
Yes, like to honor this space for that. Let's dedicate this space for that. And it's interesting, at the moment, the Nuyorican Poets Cafe is under a $24 million renovation. And at this moment, they are digging deeper down because the water is only like 3 feet below there. That's why anytime it rained, it would flood. But now there's water pumps pumping out water. They're underpinning all the structures so that it can be really sealed for the first time. So I thought that was interesting. Because it's landfill. I didn't know that either. Okay, so what other women of that time should we mention?
Sandra, we can't forget Angie Hernandez from the old cafe on 6th Street, because when you speak about community, when you speak about a neighborhood that was a kind of no man's land in Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
most things happen uptown or in Greenwich Village. And now they want to call it the East Village. This is Alphabet City. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Angie and landlords were burning their own buildings to get the insurance money
Right.
rather than fix them up and renovate. And Angie was between Nuyorican and between
Charas?
Charas
Yeah.
and Adopt a Building.
Wow.
And she was a dancer.
Right.
And she could do bomba plena in the street. And oftentimes we did.
Yes.
And
There's a documentary, Viva Loisaida, that I think has her dancing in that 6th Street space. Yes.
she was wonderful in terms of giving the little ones something to do,
Yeah.
than
Organizing.
mischief.
Right.
We
Giving purpose. Yeah. A road, a place,
hmm
and a sanctuary within those walls, because those streets were rough.
They were, but strangely enough, I never felt fear. At nights when we would close, maybe somebody would walk me to get a subway or a cab to come home, because I live in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I knew all the people and they knew who I was, so I never felt,
Yeah. In danger.
you know,
Yeah.
there's so and so going to do some Yo, hi, I going home now. you know, it sounds corny and naive, and I was corny. I still am, and naive, but that's how it was.
Divinely protected, for
Maybe
sure.
so. Maybe
Yeah.
so.
To have come this far, I see you as my oracle. I come to you when in my moments of darkness and question, especially in the first years of becoming executive director, I came to you. I'm very grateful for everything that, you've learned firsthand. And
So you don't have to learn
so that I don't feel like
Let
I'm
me tell you
crazy.
about that one. Don't ask, I'll tell
It's
you.
affirmation. Yeah, you affirm so many
Mm.
things that even intuitively I may see or spiritually I may see, but then you still question because
I
it's so
know, I
crazy, and you're
know.
like, no.
And that's another thing for you. When spirit whisper in your ear and tell you, believe it.
Yeah,
Don't question, believe it. It's telling you something. That's
yeah,
your first gut,
yeah,
and spirit has gone, and you feel,
yeah. But
believe
and then
it.
when you act on it, then everybody else calls you crazy, but you trust that spirit
The
told
thing
you.
is, I don't talk about that part
Mm,
unless I meet somebody who is open and understands, the other ways than the ways of the global north
right.
for understanding this world we live in.
Yes. Who else would you say was spiritual in that way?
Besides Maria Socorro,
Yes.
Miguel's sister Irma. I remember when Miguel introduced me to his sister. She had just come from Puerto Rico because she had been married twice to the same man, and then once to somebody else, and she left this somebody else. The twice who he was killed in a motorcycle accident. And life is so strange in terms of how we are connected. Her husband, Grafton, her
Howard.
Grafton Howard, his grandfather was a Bajan who came to this country and made ironworks and furnaces. Do you know I have a Gilmore in my basement?
That keeps you warm, keeps your house warm.
No more. I use the sun I got. But yes.
Wow. Look at that
Wow.
connection.
Wow.
I do want to acknowledge that John Howard Algarin is a board member presently, and so he is the child
and
of,
a judge.
and a judge. Yes, he is.
I met him, he was like 14.
Wow.
And
Well,
his
still
brother,
connected, all connected.
his brother Grafton, rest him.
Yes, he passed recently.
Mhm.
And his Noelia is either his niece,
Is Arturo's daughter,
and she's
Miguel's
niece.
niece.
Yes. And so
Yes.
Noelia still performs and
Mhm.
is part of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. So the family it's still very much
She
alive.
wasn't even born the time we talking now.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Wow. Wow.
So in that list,
Okay, the list we made so that we make no feelings untoward
right,
if memory is shaky in me or you.
please forgive.
Please forgive.
Please forgive. It's so many women.
So many women.
Many women, yes.
And the first maybe organized women's conference event, we did Mujeres Comunes, ordinary women. We said, all these men getting on stage, let's put together a book for us. And it was Patricia Spears Jones, Faye Chang, who used to come around, who was heading up Basement Workshop, Asian Americans Workshop, Sandra Maria Esteves. So we want, and Sarah Miles.
So those women that you just mentioned, the last name you mentioned was Miles. Those women were the editors of Mujeres Comunes anthology.
Right.
So there were 5 of them, it sounds like. But in the anthology,
I had poems, but like I said, in the beginning, I was trained too as a visual artist, and I would draw, and to that point about the anthology, there was Mary Wagner. Mary Wagner was a woman, she had come from California and settled in the Lower East Side, and she used to do like a cartoon, The Village Voice, which is no more.
Oh, I
the
remember the Village
weekly
Voice.
the
Wow.
weekly rag sheet about goings on downtown.
Yeah.
And she had a little strip every week. And she and I sat down after the editors got together. We're going to have all these women in. Let's have some pictures now, some visuals. So she and I sat down one day and said we give each woman a little picture. So we divided it up. And do you know, in one day, Spirit led us to draw a little strip in the book for each of those women in one day. So we said, no, we won't sign them because we want to be attuned to each other and to the words that we're given. So we'll try to act as one. And I guess if you look really hard, you can tell which are her drawings, which are mine. But it's hard. I know.
Right.
But
I probably wouldn't know.
So we would just train each other to be heart to heart, hand to hand.
You recently released a book with your drawings
Yeah.
that came out of those, right, those times.
No, later than that.
Later, okay.
Yes.
But you did draw the posters for the shows.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Because I did see those as well.
I did.
Some theater pieces such as...
The first time when Miguel found out that I was, when we first met, that I had visual art talent, he said, we're doing, Mikey and Lucky and I doing a show. Can you make us a flyer? Because it was not like, let's post it on It wasn't like that. We had to have flyers, you know, you got to go and pass out, and you got to call people to come out. And,
Yeah.
you know, there used to be the poetry calendar way back then,
Yes.
which had a month of events at all different venues around New York City where you could go to hear the poetry. But Miguel said, do us a flyer. And I did.
And then you created calendars for the month of each month at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe.
Right. That was later. That was much later.
Yeah.
But to the point of things that happened at the cafe, yeah, I did a lot of flyers.
Yes.
And it was never a thought of, well, how much you gonna pay me now for this? It just wasn't like that.
Right. Your karmic debt that bank is full.
Yes. Come now, come now.
Yeah, this, in this generation will never really understand. It's very different. I mean, and of course, finances being what they are, I
Yes,
can
I
understand.
understand.
But I do look for that passion, for that paying it forward, and because eventually it does pay off. People don't see the value of
give.
Yes,
Because
of giving first.
it's the good thing to do. It's the right thing to do. It make you feel good.
It does feel good.
And I tell other people it's advertisement for you.
Right.
Who did this flyer? Oh, well, oh, yes.
Right. And word of mouth cannot be bought. Like people saying, giving the word that this person is vetted and good, that is more valuable than any resume.
To that point, I did Miguel was teaching he was professor of Shakespeare and creative writing at Rutgers.
Yes.
And Miguel had a charismatic sensibility about him. He knew how to attract people he needed, and people who he could include in the work and become part of our community. And really, that's how you make community.
He was good at enrolling them into what he was doing,
but never by, you want to be part of. It wasn't like that. You come, you see, oh, what can I do? Well, you figure it out.
Can you vibe? Are you vibing with this frequency right here?
Yes. Maybe in the language of post-academic street, you would say vibe, but then it was like, well, what you doing now? Maybe you could do this. And he had a student and who started a magazine. Mag City was the name of it. And this guy, I forget his name, but he said, could you do us a cover sometime? I said, sure. That magazine was collected, and this guy's work was collected by Granary Books. And I see among their catalog that looked like the cover I did back. It happens like that.
Sure.
Yes. Not that he gave me any money. I was glad to do it. And in a way, when you think of it, it's a great way for the artist to practice. Because art is really about practice.
Yes.
The stage thing, it comes as a culminating moment, but it's about the practice. So you got to keep my hand,
I'm a firm believer. The only reason I won an Emmy was because I did that work for free. I didn't know that writing a script about Puerto Rican poetry, legacy of Puerto Rican poetry, I was just asked to do it, and I did it for the culture. I did it, of course, for the practice because, this is what we do. Never thinking of, and then look, so I am a firm believer in putting that work in, and it does pay. In other ways, it comes and rewards you, not monetarily, but then look, because titles, people look so much at those titles. It adds value.
So you're saying this now, and I'm thinking, how can we teach these newbies who are coming up and want to enter our work, because so many of them come and enter and say, I'm going to be a poet. I'm going to get on stage and I'm going to be famous.
I'm gonna be a star.
I'm going to be a star.
Yeah, it's a
How do we teach them that that's not the point? That's not the culmination.
It's hard because we're like it's like a counterbalancing from this whole other message that we get from the commercialized world, and it's hard to make that message really hit home because we're up against an ugly way of living, a really off balance value system, like I mean, even the way we treat Mother Earth is indicative of how we treat mothers, women. We devalue, but yet there it's the most um, essential wealth of life.
Essential wealth. That's a good way.
And yeah, and this generation is a lot of entitlement. There's a lot of sickness, but this has been healing. The work is healing. The service of the work
The service
is
heals
healing.
you.
It does. Even when I felt weakest, when I was serving others, it gave me energy. What are some other names that we can, because I
I
know.
want to say one thing to that.
Yes.
And it's something I think I knew, and I think you know it. What's the word? Integrally, with the integrity within, that in the work that you do, is this going to sound corny again? I told you I was corny.
I'm all for corn.
A higher purpose. You do your work because you know it just doesn't end with you. It's a higher purpose. So how can we teach them, look, you want to get on stage? It'd be good practice, sidewalk to stage, we got that.
Yeah.
But then you get there, that's not the whole of it. You're doing it and find that. And you find too, as when you want to lead people, not to be the personality they're following, because it's not about me. It's about this higher thing that we're doing.
Yes.
We doing all this, and yeah, I'm telling you about it. I may be teaching you about it, but even then, I'm doing it because there's a higher thing here we want done.
Right.
So it's not about me.
Right.
I think we get stuck in this ego thing, and somehow these young people can't quite see beyond them.
It's really hard because I mean, you look at these, the MySpace, I can't even think. I'm going MySpace, Instagram, or they don't know who they are. If that platform falls in physical world, what are you doing? Like, who are you? Right? Because they're so invested in how they look, in what it looks like in the cyber world. But what are you doing in the real world?
And how many friends do you have?
Yeah, how many followers have you gained? And on those platforms you could do that, but how powerful is it when you can do it in the world, in the physical space? That's the difference. If we could bring them back to earth, to mother.
And how powerful, in my mind, Gloria Feliciano is tapping me on the shoulder now. How
bring her in here.
We can have a space from the sidewalk to the stage, to have a young woman back in the day like Sarah Jones walk in the door with a whole lot of baggage, and men who were not treating her right. And we have a space where we artists come and we do and we play and we practice. And she get on stage and do, this woman is brilliant. But this man she got here telling her, now, Sarah, you must do. And I'm watching and say, there's no place. Sarah, let me introduce you to Gloria here.
Yeah.
And
Give her the safe space to be her authentic self without the gaze, the male gaze, and the validation of that external
give
world.
her a home too when Sarah had no home. She on the street.
Yeah.
And Gloria said, well, come stay with me and my daughter.
Yeah. To becoming an absolute success. Yeah.
You know?
And known for her greatness. And yeah, people.
But then to that point too, and I said, Spirit, I'm not going to say anything untoward. But let me say, when you come and you get laudatory words and symbols from the global northern consciousness, don't forget where you come from. Don't forget what got you there for them to give you that. And how much does it mean when you got that from them?
Yeah.
If you either pull somebody who, well, you shouldn't come,
Right.
or I gonna teach. What good is all that if you don't pass it on? If you forget where you come from? And I have seen people who, from the sidewalk to the stage to the big beyond what they think is.
Yeah. They've made it.
Yeah, what does that mean?
No, it's empty in there. It's very empty if you don't
Empty
come
and
back.
lonely?
Empty, lonely. You have to come back.
I got my friends. Look, I got
followers.
I got
Yeah.
20,000 of them.
Yeah. Empty, all by yourself in the room.
Oh, Lord.
So there's names that I want to bring into the room.
Okay.
Let's look
Okay,
back.
so
Maybe those that are in the spirit
Entezaki
world.
Shange.
Entezaki.
Yes. You know, when she first started, and Thea Martinez, you know, when Zaki first was getting colored girls together, she did it like a workshop, because there's 7 women in it.
Yeah.
Thea was one of the 7 who helped shape that piece to make it something that, you know, Zaki performed it in bars. They performed it in all kinds of strange places.
Developing the work.
The work. Well, this works. This not so good.
Yeah.
And Thea was one of those people.
Wow.
How is it for the artist when you come to a point, we developed this work and you've been part of it, when global northern accolades say, well, come, we will give you, and we will give you, and you can
Status
be
and money.
all of those accolades, and you don't bring your people who helped you do it to make it that way. That's something you have to live with yourself. And, you know, that's an individual choice. You made the choice.
Yeah.
I think Zaki understood that. I think she understood it. She made choices. She lived with them. She died with them. God rest her soul. She and I went to school together. I know her before she became Entezaki.
Wow.
And we all make choices. We all make choices.
I wish I could have saved a phone message. She called me. And the way she would say, Caridad, how are you?
I know.
Love her. Love her. Bless her spirit. Who else can we bring into the room? Amiri Baraka's wife.
Amina.
Because we are in Newark.
Yes, we are in Newark.
Yes, wanted to acknowledge her.
She as a poet, as an Afro-Indigenous woman.
Yes.
Held up a man who was vilified and all kinds of negative, had 5 of his children and ran the house. And when he was with Hetty Jones too, before he changed his name, and kept him on point and together, still living.
Bless her.
Bless her.
Bless her.
Bless her.
And her son, who's mayor.
And her
here.
son is
Yes.
mayor of
Wonderful.
Newark.
Yes.
Yes, bless her.
Bless her. Who else can we bring into the room?
Helena D. Lewis, longtime civil servant. You know, we make that word, that phrase, civil servant. That woman has been a social worker for 1,000 years.
And made work about it.
And made work about it.
Yes, and brought it to the stage.
Brought it to the stage.
Bless her.
And don't forget Tony Blackman, who, in terms of when the emergence and importance of hip-hop and people jumping up to say, well, let me show you freestyle.
Yeah.
That woman, that's the woman to teach you freestyle. She did research and went back to East African tribal rituals where oftentimes warriors, rather than fight, do word game, word play, and took it from there.
Wow.
And you can sit down. You don't have to take a weapon in the hand. You got it between your lips.
Yes.
Freestyle.
The mind.
Whoa,
yes,
whoa,
she's
whoa.
still.
And she's still,
there.
I think she's working in Africa now.
She is. I believe she has a home in Africa now.
Okay.
Yes, so she's still
I
Tony
sent her
Blackman.
a note, and she said, "Oh, Lois,
I love her.
Okay.
Love her.
I love her.
Yes. I want to acknowledge Mariposa.
And it was Pedro who brought us Mariposa.
Ah, okay.
Because she was having some hard times, and she got in touch with him. And he said, well, why don't you just come over?
Yeah.
And she did, and she stayed.
Yes.
You know, and I love Mari because, for many reasons, because she and I get on the phone and we just laugh. Because she sees the value of the higher ambition. She understands so clearly from day one. She understood, it's really not me, it's coming through me. And she teaches. She in that classroom giving those lessons to these knuckleheads who need it.
Yes.
Teaching them about the history and about all the work that we've done. And oh, really? And they say to her, yes.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And as there's a quote that, I mean, many people have, try to use and whatever, but it's que Puerto Rico yo no nací en Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico nació en mí. I wasn't born in Puerto Rico was born in me. That's Mariposa's work. I wanted to also acknowledge like some of the hosts, Eileen Reyes.
She was one of our fresh poets, you know. And not anything untoward, but when she got because Miguel had this friend he had been to school with, Akira Nogami, God rest him. And every year he would come from Japan, and he'd just say, give it to a poet. Here's some chabo. Give it to a poet who needs and you feel deserves. So do you know some people would write to us and ask, how can I be a fresh poet? And, get that.
Right.
But
get in, yeah.
We would just give it, and it
happened organically.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Eileen deserves it this year. And there were so many, particularly, and I don't like to put it on the men like they're bad, but mommy didn't teach you how to be strong in yourself so you don't have jealousy. And
it's tough.
It's tough. And you don't want to, as a woman, you don't want to associate yourself with men like that because they pull you down and keep you down.
Yeah.
But Eileen, she rose above it.
Beautiful person.
Yes.
I know that Nancy Mercado was a student of Miguel
Miguel,
Algarín and is
and
in
she
the book
came.
of Aloud. I want to acknowledge Nancy
Mm-hmm.
and her poetic contribution.
And let's not forget, we just lost her this year, Marlise Momber.
Marlise Momber,
I met
photographer. She
photographer.
captured that era beautifully with such integrity and, oh my goodness.
And it was never like, well, I'm from the global north coming to
To
record.
capture you savages.
Yes!
She was with
She was
the
there.
people. She saw
was
the
there.
beauty, the strength of it, yes.
And
She
the
appreciated
man
it.
that she was married to, well, I met Marlise when she was pregnant with her son. And this woman was a big pregnant. And the thing is, the hospital system and the healthcare system here did her wrong, and something happened in the birth, and God bless her son Curtis. He's still strong and doing.
Oh, thank goodness.
But still, it didn't have to be like that.
Right.
Didn't have to. And she went on and she captured everything she saw. She was, when people turned up their nose sometime at Jorge Brandon, this
El
was
Coco que habla.
El Coco que habla. This was a woman who took him in her home with her son and her husband to take care of him.
Wow.
And
Yes.
everybody thinking, oh, he's just a street man, he's just a street poet. This is a man who, La Masacre de Ponce, when I met him, he came on stage to describe in his poetry the horror of being involved in that physical conflict.
Yes.
Where people died, where they ran because all
For protests.
to celebrate the end of slavery on the island. Really?
Yeah.
But Marlise.
Right. There's these women that nurtured so much quietly, and upholding a culture and on.
And the thing is, it wasn't her culture, but she became part of our community. And for me, Puerto Rican is not who I am, but Nuyorican Poets Cafe is who I am to make community, particularly as it's rooted in the Afro-Caribbean experience from which I have come.
Yes. And would you say that that is the Nuyorican aesthetic?
Yeah. Yes, that's part of it. It's
Yes.
part of it.
What else is part, would you say, about the aesthetic of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe?
On call.
Yes.
And that really comes from Miguel now, because you remember he did that book, On Call. But when you in a situation, or even here, open spirit in yourself, wide enough so you're on call. And it's
the calling. It is right. So you're on call to that calling.
You're on call, and you can share.
Yes. There were some women that were connected to Piñero that you mentioned.
Another great photographer who became part of Nuyorican Poets Cafe aesthetic, Arlene Gottfried, God rest her soul too. She was so much another one who I just like to sit around and laugh with. Her pictures, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And she never got the acclaim from the global northern critics or whatever,
Yes.
that she deserved. Others who were her, I want to use the word compadres, but who were like her in the photographers.
Right. That same caliber of
there you
artist.
Go. Yes. Yeah. Got all kinds of, movie star, no, but she didn't get it.
Yeah.
And on a certain level, I don't think she cared.
She wasn't.
It
searching
wasn't
for
about that.
Yeah.
It wasn't about that. It was to document the work.
Right.
And I remember when really, although I didn't know he had AIDS at the time and he passed, Richie Cruz, who's a conguero, talk about the congueros. Let's not forget Stephanie Chapman was the first woman conguero that I knew. And she was Eddie Conde, Richie Cruz, and Stephanie Chapman used to hang and play all over the place. But Stephanie was more like tomboy. She was like, and it was never like, oh, the woman with one of the, it wasn't like that. You know, you didn't want to apply the word, oh, she's making feminist entree into, it wasn't like that. You know,
she was just playing that drum.
She was playing
a
that drum.
Right. Who else can we bring into the room?
Don't forget Rena
Valentin, dear sorority sister of mine and friend of mine many years.
And she hit me in the head the other day with, you know, I owe a lot to you. What? She said, yes, you know, you put me on the stage and nobody wanted to hear me. And I was surprised because I didn't think not to. It wasn't even I'm following our mantra. Sidewalk to the stage, you showing up here and being part of the La Familia. Of course, you know.
Yes.
Give you some time to develop your piece.
Right. We honored you on like in May, I think on Beatniks, and she was there, and she was so eager to.
Couldn't believe it.
Yes, to give you your flowers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it touched me so.
Beautiful. Some hosts. I wanna acknowledge Mahogany Brown.
Oh, please, yes.
Who is a leader in poetry to this day.
And a leader among men and women.
Yes.
Just a leader.
Just a leader.
I don't think she even would use that word feminist, or she is a leader.
Yes. I mean,
and I think to you too. I don't know if I would apply those categories or classifications. Kari, she's my friend and she's a leader.
I'm not as academic, I would say, though. Like Mahogany is published and is so.
She got a lot of books.
Prolific, and she's just excellence, black excellence, black girl magic to the T. Who else?
Let's not forget Diana Getesha Hernandez, Willie's wife. Willie
Correa. That he was the DJ, the in-house DJ.
Yes,
we uncovered his albums in the clean out.
Electronic master.
Yes. So his wife. What did she do?
Artist and poet. I don't want to leave anyone out.
I know.
Because otherwise,
I know.
That girl.
So because I know there are so many names, I just want to make sure that even if we don't get to say exactly what they contributed.
We were talking about the photographers. Susan Young.
Okay.
Susan, any artistic, any cultural thing that's happening, particularly to people of color, whether they be Caribbean, Asian, whatever. She's there. She's there with her camera.
She has like a global lens. She's just looking at humanity.
I have been trying to get people interested to get to her archive, lest it be lost. Because at this point in my life, that's part of my, I want to say mission, but that's such a hard grinding word, mission. It's my mission
There is
to
a
make
purpose.
sure that purpose,
Yeah.
that all this work that we have done, and it's so funny, I'm remembering now a time where I stood with Julio Dalmau, who at the door of the cafe, and I said to him, you know, we enjoying this, we got our ups and downs, but this is a golden time. And I was right about that. We'll never come back. But let's not forget what it can teach us. And we need to keep our archive. That's really why I started the archive project, Nuyorican Poets Cafe Founders Archive Project,
Yes.
to make sure that it's not lost and that some global northerner come and put his foot on, or I say his, their foot on our work and say, yes, I did.
We own this collection
There you
now.
go.
This is gonna we'll keep this on the shelves, right? And it's then not accessible to
That's
the
the whole thing.
lineage. Yeah.
Because what people, these young people coming now, what they don't know is a lot.
Yes. And the erasure is active. It's like I did want to acknowledge Claire
Claire
for
Utimo, God rest her too.
right. She did the logo, which we still use to this day. That was her contribution to the Nuyorican Poets
Yes.
Cafe.
And also, she was a great slam mother, right? We were
Yes.
talking about how can you choose people to go with the slam team? You can't do everything.
Yes.
And she would take her time and go with the team and make sure they had this, and this. Make sure they stayed in line. She was the mother. They were the ducklings. And,
Yes.
you know, you come here to do this. I don't want to see you go and act stupid now over here in this other city. And
Right.
she
So
was like
but then she was she like the first that created the slam team to do that? Was she the first
She
slam
was the
mother
first, really, yes.
to create? Because to this day we have a slam team, and um,
Yes.
so that's
That was her
started
love.
then.
That started then with Claire back in the early 90s.
Wow, that's another major contribution.
Major. Because
Nuyorican Poets
she
Cafe.
gave her, we had no money to pay anybody. And she did it because she wanted to be familia and familia. We say N, de, o, a.
Con.
Ong.
All of that and then some, right?
Familia.
Yeah, it's blurred, like because it's so um just it's so connected in so many ways that it's hard to say just one way. I would like to acknowledge Maida del Valle.
Ah! Ah! I was talking to Joey about her the other day, and I lost track, and I don't have her number, and I know she's a Chicago woman.
She is now, yes, she's in
And
Chicago.
I was telling you about my cousin Tim doing the show in Chicago, and I said I didn't go this time, but
Yeah.
mm,
I'll connect you to her. I am still
I
connected.
did. I looked it up and I said, "Oh, let me send her email." She right back.
Oh,
I said,
good. Right, of course.
"Lois,
You know who you are. I mean, come on.
oh wow, I
When
want to
Lois
go.
calls, you answer.
No,
Yes.
I didn't call. I just wrote her a note, and she answered me like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I want to go see her. I collecting oral histories now because this is important. This archive project is very important to me.
Yes.
And I hope for those who come along and want to know, well, who did write and what, and with that comfort, go and hear so and so talk or
Right.
write it out, read so and you find out.
Yeah.
I
So
want to get
important.
her oral history. We talk about slam. She's a master girl.
Master. Slam poet, Grand Slam champion Aja Monet is one.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is on that list that we need to bring into the room?
Don't forget Nitsa.
Tufino, yes. She was just celebrated in the Puerto Rican parade this year.
Okay.
Yeah, like a lifetime legacy award and
And
acknowledgement.
I love her.
I love her
She is
too.
so, you sit down and giggle
Honest.
and laugh and
Uh-huh. Yeah.
talk with Nitsa. And I know when Julio passed, that was her buddy.
Mm,
That was her buddy.
yes.
Her work, how difficult is it when you come from a blood family where your father or your mother is big shot artist or this and that,
Yeah.
and you got to make your way?
Yeah. How do you emerge
How
from
do you emerge?
that shadow we were
The
talking
cold
about?
shadow.
The cold shadow. And yeah, and she
To
herself.
be yourself.
Yeah.
And she has done it, and I praise
Yes.
her for that.
I praise her too. That cold shadow thing we were talking about, I've had people, one person in particular say, introduce me and say, oh, it's so cold in her shadow. And it always bothered me to hear that. And only, I've thought about it over and over, and I'm like, well, you can only feel cold in my shadow if you see me as an obstacle and not a light. And I think that women are light and should be seen as such. And what does the sun do but feed and illuminate?
Caridad de la luz.
We women are light. And as long as we're seen as an obstacle or as something that can be put away, this humanity will never see
Rise to its full
rise
potential.
to its full potential. We're
And the thing is, I'm thinking now you talking, it works both ways because sometimes we do that to ourselves. And especially we women of color, when sometimes the struggle is hard and we in the movement, we go shoulder to shoulder with you men, and you mistreat us and we are silent in the face of that because the presence of the Northern global shadow, colonialism, is so strong there. We don't want to, we know how
fragile.
creative they are in dividing
Right.
us
Right.
into that group and that group.
And
So
we don't want to minimize their power, even though they disempower us, abuse us, still we hold them up. Because for the greater good,
we are silent.
we are silent.
In that space where we are abused, where we are both working to the uplift and to raise up all of us.
Right.
And my partner here is at my side is mean to me, and I'm going to be silent on it. We have done that. We have come to an age where this hashtag Me Too speaking beyond the feminist, although some people can't see it other than that. It's speaking to that abuse, it's speaking to that compromise that so many of us, particularly us women of color, have endured in those situations for the greater good.
For the greater good. And even when it's, well,
because it's hard.
It is hard because then we're abused again. So it's really something to be a woman of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Con the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. In the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. It is it's no easy path, but it is so worth it and beautiful.
It rewards you.
I am so grateful.
I am so grateful.
Yes.
I am so grateful. To be una mujer.
Sí. De fuerza.
De la fuerza.
That strength.
De la Nuyo-Fuerza.
Sí.
And I love the play of the word Nuyorican and Nuyo and how, a project I'm working on now, Come to Terms, in the writing, is also about the play of languages. And for me, I see it as so particular to our New York space, Nueva York,
The contribution of
Nuyorican
to Nuyorican to New York.
language,
Yes.
language, and how, you know, as a New York Afro-Caribbean woman, I have all this language and beauty to play with because it's mine.
Yes.
It's yours. We have to play.
Yes.
And
If we
teach.
lose the play of the playing and the joy of it, we lose everything. Well, then the strength to continue during the difficult parts. If we disconnect from the joy and the
Yes.
play, the
Yes.
laughter. We're 50 years. We're now approaching 52 years in October on Halloween 2025. It'll be 52 years of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, once we reopen, which we're projected to open in 2026, the way that it's being built and the thought, like everything that is going into this new Nuyorican
Mm-hmm.
Poets Cafe, still connected to the past, where that aesthetic will still live, is very important to me. I also, with the Nuyo, I wanted to say that we also have to be careful to not forget the Rican part too.
Of course.
Yeah, because that's the tricky part of the Nuyo, because what we've contributed to New York culture, New York City culture,
It is a
American culture.
base. It is a base.
Yeah, and it can easily be erased. So it's
Mm-hmm. You know, there was a moment. There was a moment after we had been closed down when Miguel got the first money from the city to renovate.
is in
You
the
know,
70s, late 70s, or this
no,
was
this
in
was in the
oh,
80s.
this is after Piñero passed away?
Yes.
Right.
Or
Because I thought that's when it actually.
yes. Then there was a moment he reorganized. He reincorporated because initially it was El Puerto Rican Actors Playwrights Workshop,
Right.
right?
That was the
That was
official title.
that was the incorporation for the
Incorporated as
501c3. We reincorporated as Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And one of the new board members said in a meeting, I was part of the board. I was the only woman there, and I never thought. But anyway, said, well, we're incorporating now, and perhaps we should just call it the Poets Cafe. And Miguel looked at me. I think he was holding back to see who would say or how it would go. Let's just get this work done, was in his head. And I'm thinking, listening to this person, I said, no, it's Nuyorican. I mean, I'm a Bayesian woman. I'm Afro-Caribbean, but it's Nuyorican. That's the name we had. Let's keep it so we don't forget. I mean, because Poets Cafe is so generic. I mean, how do we distinguish?
What history is going to live through that? Yes.
Poets Cafe. Yeah, that's nice.
Well, with this new building, it's so that it'll live 100 years more. That's what, my goal is, to make sure that all this work and these archives that are emerging, that it'll be the place that is accessible, where it's accessible, and that no matter what happens, we won't be erased. Not the women, not the culture, not the contributions,
And not the spirit, the
not the
spiritu.
spirit. And that space remains, that sacred temple
Mm-hmm.
that was created.
that reference to temple was Miguel Lobo Loperena. He would say, he had this poem he would do, in the valley there is a temple. And saying that, he always meant it as our space.
Mm.
And I'm realizing now too, on a certain level, Nuyorican or Nuyo aesthetic is more than just a space. Yes, we are grounded in the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, but Nuyo aesthetic, if we take that to move, it goes beyond just the space, the place, to something greater. And to be able to go in maybe 50 years when you and I not here, to be studying, well, what makes America, particularly in New York, so special about the word and the culture and the language and the performance? Well, we need to look at these people. Let's look at these people. Yes. That's what I want to see. Bigger than me, bigger than you.
Yes, bigger than us.
So that's the ambition now. Now, we coming here to have this conversation, we said, let us not leave anyone out, because we know she gonna have a fit. She gonna call and say, what was that about?
A spirit's gonna pull my toe.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want that.
So we have women who we have been close to and have, I think, someone asked me, and Miguel has essays now. Students, go to internet library, look it up. He has essays that he has written about Nuyorican aesthetic. So you need to sharpen
Do that
up.
research. Centro has archive. Poets House has archive.
Schaumburg
has archive.
And let's not forget these women, because it's not one person who makes this movement, who makes the aesthetic. It's all of us come together. Nuyorican Poets Cafe, familia. Let's not forget Felice Bell. Felice was a slam master she was great.
She was.
And Mariposa and Rena, and we talk about her, and you tell some.
Tish Benson, we didn't mention. Mildred Ruiz. Maria Aponte. We said Gloria Feliciano. We did say Sarah Jones. Carmen Hernandez.
Right. One of Mikey's early girlfriends.
What name is this? Del Valle?
Janice Del Valle.
Janice Del Valle.
And Maida.
And Maida Del Valle. Carmen Moreno? Is that Carmen? Who is this?
Oh, now we go someplace else.
Okay, let's go.
Senen Moreno. Senen was so active on the Lower East Side. I kind of remember Senen. She would come in and do some poetry now and then, an artist, but she had her own coterie of students who followed her, who she advised, and let's not forget the woman who did that book on Puerto Rican.
Iris Morales?
No, not Iris. Did the book. She taught at Boricua College for a long time.
Mirna Nieves?
Mirna
Nieves?
Mirna has some work by Senen in that anthology. But Senen was a painter and a poet. I didn't know Senen that well back in the day, but Sidewalk to Stage, she came. She got show at Cafe. Her daughter, Saida, is now a good friend now.
Oh, great. And
trying to establish a place in artistic consciousness for her mother.
Wonderful.
You know, although both she and I have mother issues, I don't know too many women who don't. That's another conversation.
Let's acknowledge board members Sonia Lopez and Amy Sultan. Let's acknowledge Mary Wagner.
Mary Wagner, Ordinary Women. And she was the one who introduced me to Tony Gleaton, because those are both of them California people who come to New York to become part of Nuyorican. And Tony was a sergeant in the Marines, got out, came to New York, and began to dedicate, because fashion was so empty. He was into photographer doing, I'm going to dedicate myself to discover and give evidence of the Afro presence in every country of the Americas. Every country did it.
Wonderful. Acknowledge Magdalena Gomez.
Mm-hmm.
Did we say Lydia Ramirez?
Lydia, I keep remember, playwright, poet and playwright, yes.
Magdalena as well. Diana Hernandez.
Getesha, Willie's wife.
Willie's wife. Oh, we did mention her. There's a Patricia.
Patricia Jones,
We did
Spears
say
Jones, we
how-
said. She used to come around a lot. That's how, she was one of the organizers of the Ordinary Women, one of the editors.
Did we say Eve Packer?
No, we didn't.
Let's say Eve Packer.
Eve Packer.
Let's bring her into the room. Karen Jamie into the room. Roya Marsh into the room. Chavez Bishop. Read these ones, this name here.
Ana Pellicer, Mexicana.
Okay.
Brilliant sculptor, Julia Joeria.
Okay.
Gave me this. Ana, I'm wearing your earrings.
Beautiful. Yes. And who else? Anybody else on that list that I couldn't read?
Carrie Sublet Berrios.
Okay.
From Texas, from Tejas to New York to Puerto Rico. And she's living back now in Puerto Rico.
Rematriated.
Mm-hmm.
There's a movement. Don't sleep on that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that everyone that we can think?
Spirit, who else?
Spirit?
Spirit will tell us later.
Well, I do want to acknowledge my current staff. They're like, it's growing and it's very women-led. I'm very, very grateful for that. Claudia and Jasmine. We have Simone now. We're growing. Our team is growing. I'm so excited for when we reopen and celebrating you there in that space and this with this emerging archive. We're working with Mary Catherine.
Oh, now that is, she gonna become part of us real quick.
She's already.
She already is.
She is. She's done it. I mean, who else could I turn to if not her, after all the beautiful work she's done with you in this archive, in this work for archive?
And she too understands about spirit, because so much of what she does isn't about although she got rent to pay.
Sure.
The
purpose. She knows it. She knows the importance of it. And what a blessing. What a blessing it has been to bring these women into the room.
Yes.
To have these two women in the room.
And we continue. And I love you too.
Thank you.
And I love you for being strong enough to take it all on your shoulders.
It's on your shoulders. And this incredible conversation, La Fuerza of Nuyo-Mujeres, Women of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, has been a wonderful part of the Dodge Poetry programming. I want to acknowledge Isabel Gonzalez for bringing us together for this wonderful collaboration and this conversation. Thank you, New Jersey Performing Arts Center, for this wonderful space, for allowing us to have this conversation here, for holding sacred space for us. And thank you to the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation. For without that, we would not make this possible. So thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Lois,
Thank
yet
you,
again.
Gary.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, all of you. Carry these names in your heart, in your mind, in your memory, into history and forever.